Hey guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video. In this video, I'll be doing my trade targets for round 21. I am not doing the cash cows anymore for the rest of the year just because only Zach Taylor on -1 is an actual rookie that is in the sort of price rise cycle that is negative break even, and like he's at 326k, so he's not even like necessary, and like Corey Warner's probably the only real rookie price guy that is there that you might actually choose. So realistically speaking, I just don't think it's valuable to go and to be getting, I guess, a rookie in this week, or to even spend 10 minutes talking about them, I should say. I shouldn't say get in a rookie, because there are definitely some that you could just get in. I know we've got Clay Hall debuting like we have. I don't even know if we've had a debut recently, other than Clay Hall that's been announced. I don't think we had one last week. So that's sort of when the series sort of stops in a respect, is when the rookies dry up. But anyway, let's jump into the trade target of the video, and jumping in straight away, Adam Treloar, 6.5k trade-ins this week. I think he is the number one, like the obvious trade-in. There's obvious trade-ins, and then there's also not so obvious trade-ins that probably have a better matchup, which we'll get down to. There's one that is under 1k trade-ins that I really do actually like. But yeah, Adam Treloar against Melbourne. The odds seem to stack up at the moment for Adam Treloar in respect to, I was doing my research last night, because I actually did a little bit of research with respect to fantasy score sources, and also just in general their actual breakdown. So if we go to team sources, then we go to Western Bulldogs. There's a couple of stats that I need to show you guys, but we go 1 second. Where's Treloar? He is here. So he goes 45. So he's pretty strong on stoppages and also in transition. If we go to here and we go to last 5, we go to Melbourne. You'll see they're pretty good, a pretty good team to play against for transition as well as centre bounce. And he is one of their best transition, but also one of their leaders in centre bounce as well. So I really like that as well. So there's that. I also do think that potentially as well, that's on last 10. Let's get it down to last 5 just to show if this actually changes or whatnot. You'll get Melbourne here again. Very similar again, still really good CBE and throw-in, as well as turnovers. They're pretty good as well still. So I would say that's a really good matchup as well. I wouldn't be dropping Bont just because of that matchup as well, given that he goes at a similar rate. You'll see here 20. He's just a touch under in pretty much all the characteristics that Treloar scores from as well. So I would be holding that as well. And that's why I like it. And then we also go down to here, and we go down to inside mids. Melbourne give up plus 6.7 in the last 10 and the last 5 as well, which I think is a good indicator. They give up, plus 7.69. So I also think as well that you can also try and factor in the effect of Max Gawn not being there. And he was there last week, and Tom Green still went on his marker. Caleb Sarong the week before, Andy Brayshaw went pretty good scores as well. That 5, he just stinks anyway. Jai Caldwell and Dylan Shields went pretty well. And then you've also got as well down here, Josh Dunkley went huge, as well as Neil going 100. So I think that there is a good indication that he should do pretty well. And then if I go back to here and then go to match stats against Melbourne in round 1, he had one of his worst games of the year, which was an 87, which isn't even that bad of a game outlook anyway. So yeah, I think I'm really high on Treloar doing pretty well in this week. Next up, Pete Ling at 3.9k trade-in. I think this one is a good trade-in, and I'll say it like this because Rankin comes back next week. It's projected that Philippou is, let's actually double check this because I didn't check there. I know the Swans injury because I know I sort of get that each week, but I just want to check St Kilda's injury list. You got Philippou as a test this week. I would potentially give him a week, and then you could honestly go for a Rankin and also a Philippou upgrade there, potentially. just going like a Mana to a Philippou, because if let's actually just check what is Mana's price. Mana is priced at he is priced at 493 with a 23 break even, whereas Philippou, let's actually just check that. Philippou is priced at 460 with a 6 break even, so he's probably just going to be a straight swap there almost. And then Rankin, if you get lucky with like a let's actually just check Rankin price tag. He's at 779. I could almost, if Logan Evans gets to like 600k, I could almost make that swap straight away. If Mana, like, that's how close I am to it. If Philippou doesn't come back this week, then I could just do a Logan Evans and also a Sean Mana to Rankin and Philippou next week, and then I'd have options of Lawson Humphreys in the back line, as well as Lawson Humphreys in the back line. Then I'd have Peatling, as well as also Philippou, Peatling in the midfield and Philippou up forward as options for potential loops for the final couple rounds. So that's why I'm looking at Peatling, because it just feels like a 1 week where you can just go, and if he isn't sub, then this could really work out. Him or Philippou are probably going to be the one that I think a lot of people are going to jump on, depending on if Philippou is back or not. So I think Peatling is a good option when he isn't sub. I mean, if we just go through the numbers here, he has a 52. I can actually just go on to DFS and work this out, actually. It's probably just going to be quicker. Because they have the sub icon as well. So, and they'll do the counting for me. Let's just do this. Then we go this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and that one. He averages 95 when he isn't sub. Okay, and then when you adjust that back down, and even so, they have it adjusted at 88.9. And then when he is sub, that brings it down to 58. So he has a 37 difference. So he's going to be valuable next year if Cornelio gets moved on, because him as an inside mid, he's huge. So I just like this as a one-off play, given that he has played Hawthorn earlier this year down at UTAS, and he scored 98 as well. So I don't think it's out of the question for him to go large. I also think that if he isn't sub, which will be really annoying if he is, and we'll have to look at GWS, Cornelio 1 to 2 weeks. That pretty much confirms to me. That he's fine. Like, he's going to get a game. Kelly's also out as well, and we just need him not sub basically for 1 week, because his lowest non-sub game, if we look back at it, was a 57 and then an 81. It looks like. So he's just absolutely. And then you can also see the form in the twos as well. 104, 127, 129. In the VFL in 2023, you can see similar numbers as well, with sort of two bad games, really 3 or 4 bad games out of like 10. As well as here, you can just see when he plays in the midfield, he gets really tight, really good scores. So, and I just think that he'll be playing in the midfield. So hopefully that turns up there. I just want to also check with the team lineups as well quickly. Round 20 last week, where was he slated to start? He was slated to start on the bench, and then he ended up playing 69% CBA. So, I really do like this pick if he does actually not, especially if he gets named on field. I mean, when do they play in the round? Let's just double check that. They play rather late in the round, but I guess you can maybe flip it to Philippou if he doesn't end up playing or something like that. So it is a little bit of a risk if he is named sub, but I guess there probably are. I could probably just flip the trade back to Jackson and then honestly move someone on from one of these games or something like that. We'll see about that. So I'm not too worried about that, to be honest with you. If he is named sub, but I don't think he will be named sub, as I think there'll be a genuine someone named sub, I think a McMullen or a Fonte would be named sub over him, to be honest, if you were to go with the GWS side from round 20. Again, It's that one. Then we go over here to Tom Stewart. I have been banging on his drum for about 2 weeks now. I should have been on it for longer. His role is absolutely fantastic. I really like him. I think he's just probably got the best role currently for fantasy in the whole league. So I think he's definitely in. Matty Roberts, I think this is just points chasing. Ed Bridges, I'm actually intrigued to see because I think this one, similar to Treloar, is a pretty decent matchup. He does have Melbourne this week, as we said. Then he's got Adelaide, North, and GWS. If we go over here to here and you go last 5 games, you go Adelaide -1, North -4, and then GWS, I believe they had -2. Is that right? Yeah. So then we see that and we're like, okay, that doesn't necessarily line up the greatest. Let's go to, let's go out of that. I don't need that anymore. Let's go to last 5, and we said it was, Melbourne, pretty good matchup. Then we said it was North, who are still, I think, a pretty good matchup for transition, for turnover guys. And you'll see here, if we go down here to Ed Richards, 43, so he is sort of in between of Bont and the likes of Treloar. But if we open this up again, then you'll see this as well, which I'm pretty sure you'll see his high scoring games, his big boy games are massive turnover games, and we just said that Melbourne is a massive turnover score. So I actually really do like him in that. We also said he has Adelaide, North, and GWS. Adelaide, North, GWS. So North, we said, really good. So that's 2 matchups. Adelaide, North, GWS. So Adelaide are an iffy matchup. And then GWS are also an iffy matchup in their last 5, to be honest. And let's just generate last 10 just to see how it goes. But if we go here, you can go here. Adelaide aren't the greatest matchup, and GWS are also a pretty iffy sort of matchup as well. So I think that 22 and 24 are pretty tough matchups. But if you maybe get him for the 21, 22, and 23, then you can sideways him in 24, I think. But I don't know how much that is sort of tag dependent or whatnot, or whether that tag dependent's more on the midfielder score. Clay Hall debuting, we all know that. Dane Zorko, I think, has a really good positive matchup this week. If we go to, this actually probably doesn't show it. Yeah, it shows Desi Kickers -8. I wonder why that is. Is that just because someone had a massive stinker? Houston had a stinker against them. That's probably why. As well as Brodie Smith having a couple of stinkers in here. But yeah, mostly the Dan Houston stinker. If we go to last 10, does that sort of even out a little bit better? It does it. It looks like it does. Yeah, it does completely to a +4. So I don't know what happened in that. Alex Sexton and Sam Flanders games. Oh, they had that whole. So I reckon it's probably almost a neutral matchup for Desi Kickers if you take away like the stinkers here from Blakey and Lloyd, but the real one is the Houston -40. So I'd probably say it's about neutral-ish. If not a little bit minus. So Dane Zorko, I don't know how he's necessarily going to play. Let's just look at the turnovers last 10. St Kilda up there. I know that Zorko's probably going to be a good turnover guy. Let's see last 5. They've sort of flipped it on its head, St Kilda. So and they're in good form, but Lions are in good form. So I'm not gonna. I don't think I'll VC or captain him this week. But I still understand the trading, given he's going to be a top 6 forward, so he's still going to be valuable over the next replacement, especially if you need a forward. Harry Sheezel, he's just doing Sheezel type stuff, and I'm pretty sure the matchup's really good. Dylan Moore, I'd probably stay away from this, I'm pretty sure. If we go to, I think he's classified as an inside mid, but I'm pretty sure he's also generally a general forward as well. So if you look at those two, you sort of see that they're negative on both fronts in the last 10. If we go to last 5, I'm pretty sure you'll see a similar thing as well. I just clicked on last 10 again. Let's go last 5 here. Inside mids, GWS where are they? Here, they're -5, -2. And then you also look at, I don't need that as well. I need this. You look at here, GWS where are they? Pretty much, if not, yeah, so they're not really that good of a team for any of that. So yeah, I wouldn't be going there. Let's see who are the best kicking teams. Gold Coast, Brisbane, Collingwood, Freo. A lot of a lot of the good sides are good kicking teams, just because you get a lot of the ball from them because they kick so much score. So that's actually all right for who do North have? North have Richmond. Does any of these sort of halfbacks have really good teams to play against? It doesn't look like it. So anyway, Josh Dunkley against St Kilda. I still similar thought to. Let's actually bring up the Brisbane team. Here we go. Team score source. I think this is a wonderful resource to look at, and you see Dane Zorko 64 in turnover and 21 in transition. In kick-ins, and then you got Josh Dunkley, pretty much a similar split to the likes of Adam Treloar. That's generally how these inside mid roll is. A lot in those type of categories. You can see the same with the likes of Lockie Neal. Then we go to, they are playing St Kilda. We look at St Kilda's stats and they're pretty much negative across the board. So in the last 5. So I think Josh Dunkley will do well. I just don't think he'll be that home run pick that I think like Treloar or potentially even someone later on in the piece will be. Lockie Whitfield has Hawthorn. If we look at Hawthorn and we go to Desi Kickers, they're down here at just over, a little bit over neutral. And then they've got 4 turnovers as well. Hawthorn are in the red pretty much across all fronts. So yeah, I don't know if I'd necessarily be looking at that. And then you've also got kick-ins here. Let's just see. Hawthorn in the last 10 are still pretty poor across everything. Maybe a little bit better in transition. So they've cleaned that up in the last couple of weeks. So I don't know if I like this Lockie Whitfield matchup, to be honest. I don't really like many matchups other than probably the Ed Richards matchup at the moment. But I also think that they're not going to bring in the tagger terribly for Lockie Whitfield. So I still think that, let's just see, how did he go against Hawks last time? He went 1-2-3 against the Hawks. So I still think it's a good matchup. If you don't have him, I just probably wouldn't be VCing him, to be honest with you. Just because I don't necessarily, I think Hawthorn have gotten on a good form at the last sort of bit. Myers, I also understand this because no one knows who the F6 is really going to be for the rest of the year. Marshall, understand this. Actually don't understand this, to be honest with you. The ruck matchup against Brisbane is probably one of the hardest, I would think. If we go here, where's Brisbane? Yeah, Brisbane, hardest ruck. I don't like that, even though Marshall is absolutely blitzing it at the moment. Parker, no. Kerno, I understand this. I think Collingwood, if we go to, not that one, I want the key forwards. Collingwood give up a lot to key forwards. If we look at their fantasy score, then we look at Carlton as well. I just want to see where does he score a lot of his points off of. I don't know if it will necessarily show up, to be honest with you. Where is he? Not CBAs. It's probably going to be like off turnover or something. Yeah, turnover, high turnover type of guy. But I don't know if that's necessarily correlated as well as it should, given that he's sort of a key forward. But then again, key forwards getting a lot of turnover because they isolate and get a one-on-one. That is understandable to a certain extent. And Collingwood are a good matchup, so I could understand going Kerno as well, just because he could go large. But then again, there's so much fluctuation and variation with a Kerno that I think it's just a riskier play than like a Peatling or a Philippou. But Philippou is also more risky because he's coming back off an injury. Tristan Cherry against Richmond. Toby Nankervis is back. So if we go to inside for the ruck matchups, yes, he does have a plus 16. And then in the last 10, that actually already flips down to a plus 2. So I do think that was a little bit of being, you see here, last 5. You got... Briggs went 140 and Jackson went 104. And I think Jackson was more just, he was doing solo ruck. So that was more so his numbers just being influenced by him being a solo ruck rather than a ruck forward. So that plus 20 can get knocked out. And then you have across there, 40, across like a 5-week span, you only have 3 ruckmen rather than 5. And you've got here, yeah. So I don't know what happened in round 16 or whatnot. Did they not play up against a ruckman or whatnot? But that's still a plus 13, I believe, in 3 games. Yeah, so plus 13, 14. So, do I think it's a good matchup? I don't think it's necessarily a good matchup. I just think that Briggs had a really good day out against them. And you can see the struggle here from Meek and DeConing here a couple weeks ago anyway. And Todd Goldstein scored a 63. So I'm not too confident on that anyway for to go up against Nankervis for Tristan Cherry. But he'll probably prove me wrong because every time I say that, he goes nuts. Isaac Heaney, understandable because you just need forwards. Sarong, he has still another good matchup. Mitchell, I don't even know if he's playing. I just think people are getting in a dead rubber guy. And then the last guy I want to talk about here, because I am running pretty long, is Nick Newman. I really like this matchup. If you go here to which score sources that is that, turnover, he scores heavily against, or heavily on, I should say. Let's just see. I don't need that anymore. Don't need that. We'll go also down here. And you'll see here, Collingwood, last 5, their turnover and kick-ins are absolutely huge for point scoring. And that is the one area in which Nick Newman excels. He is the number 1 scorer in both categories for Carlton. And you're telling me that he's coming up against the number 2 in turnovers and then also the number 3 in kick-ins. And then also CBAs, he is facing the number 1 guy, and he is also for their team. He's a 3.4 scorer, so he's not that actually impactful. It's more Walsh that will get that. So Walsh and Cripps, I think, should have big days, given that it's a huge CBA plus, a huge centre bounce plus also huge turnover scorer against Collingwood. But I do think that just the value in Nick Newman at this point with a 61.4 and a 17 from transition, and then him playing against the number 2 and the number 3 for transitions, and basically the number, is that going to be, so that is a 108, and that's a 120, and then also a 119 from Gold Coast. So he's playing against the number 1 team for giving up points in the last 5 for transition. Transition scoring in the last 5, he's going up against the number 1, as well as it's also a split in which he dominates more so than his, the guys against, he scores more so in the category of turnovers, and that's the category in which Collingwood lead more so on Gold Coast. So I just think that this one is almost the perfect matchup for Nick Newman. So he would be my smoky of the week of going absolutely large just based on these statistics. So watch him actually fail. But anyway, I think that is enough from me. I think that was a long enough video. I went in depth with a lot of them. Let me just quickly glance over the outs for the week. You have Logan Evans getting traded out. Understand that. Sydney, I don't think, are the greatest for Desi kickers. Are they? Or are they not? Yeah, they're negative for Desi kickers in last 10. Last 5, that might not be the case. Let me just double check that because we've been getting beaten up in the last 5. They're still only a +1, so I'm just holding on to him because I think he'll still make cash. Billy Dowling, understand that as well. A lot of people are trying to move on to like a Peatling or someone else that can probably have that really top out score, that really big score. Ridley injured, I believe. Luke Ryan, I'm pretty sure Freo actually have an alright matchup. So, because I was looking at this with respect to Jordan Clark. So, I understand that though because his form has been utter trash the last sort of 3 weeks. Sean Manor getting rid of a rookie. Connor Rozee as well as, I'm guessing, Connor Rozee out by 2.2k trade outs. Do we have Butters out here anywhere? 854. So it could be a question of do you go out with Butters or out with Rozee? They're both around about the same price. So that'll be a good question to figure out in the next sort of day or 2. It doesn't really matter for me too much which one I go, but that'll be a decent question to ask. Then you got Showmaker, Young, a lot of rookies as well as just the underperformers as you would expect. No real surprise. Colby McCurch traded out by 1.1k, but given what I've heard in Twitter, he should be back this week, so that's good. And yeah, Luke Jackson, which is a guy that I am trading out. I can tell you that for a fact that I'll be trading him out unless Peatling is sub, which will happen on the Sunday. It'll be a quick trade back in, I guess, or something. Even though I might just find a guy to trade it back to. I may just hope that Philippou is fit or something like that. Or I don't know what exactly I'll do at that point, but we'll find a way. And yeah, that pretty much is the video there. If you did enjoy, remember to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on so you know when I upload, as this one was uploaded a little bit late as I did stay up to watch the Olympics, so I was a little bit tired, which delayed this release. But I guess I will see you guys tomorrow for the Friday videos. And I just wanted to also point out that you won't be seeing the videos on Sunday. I'm away, but I will catch up on the Monday, and they will be caught up by like this time next week as well. So just the first sort of Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday will be a little bit, I think, offset. There'll be like 4 videos a day instead of 3, just to catch up on those 2 videos that I missed on the Sunday. But I'll see you guys in the game, or the team reveals on Friday. Bye, guys.